In my previous video, I disclosed the initial findings of the Rothschild's US asset sales. Let's take a deeper look. You came here for the truth. Previously, I discussed this chart right here. Let's briefly cover it for those who haven't seen it. US dollars have been sold off in the last 6 months by the Rothschilds, and they've been buying sterling, euro, and others. All of this information is publicly available. You can do a search online. 13F. It shows you all of the holdings for all of these different companies. It is public information. You can look this up for yourself. Now, there are other websites which will compile this data and formulate it into a much easier to use website. Holdings Channel is just one of them. And what they show you in this example are IT Capital Partners' top holdings. Something very important has happened. They've bought into energy, specifically out of Brazil, and they've sold off S&P Global Inc. So it looks like they are going ahead, buying into energy, selling off US assets. That's what I'm discussing here today. Let's go in a little deeper. This is another website, Whale Wisdom. And it might be hard to read the font here, so I'll quickly cover it. They're in the energy sector, a massive purchase of PBR.A. And you can see the size of which they have purchased comparative to the size of the actual fund itself, and the SPGI being sold off. It seems that they're not just selling the currency, they're also selling the market as well. This is very telling to me in what's happening with the Rothschilds, what they are doing. You don't have to be into the inside to know what they do. This information is in fact public, and you can see that with the 13Fs. Let's look just very quickly into the SPGI just to outline who owns it exactly. All of the big names, Vanguard, BlackRock, Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan. This is the US stock market. And the Rothschilds seem to believe that there's no reason to hold it any longer. Do they think that the stock market is going to come down and energy is going to rise, particularly oil to rise? I don't know, but that looks like it is based on what they're doing. Perhaps they just feel that the price is depressed. They could sell again in short order, that's for sure. Now, there's a growing trend that has been taking place that is not being discussed, and I need to bring that to you right now. So let's take a quick look at this. Right out of CNBC, investors pulled billions from the US stocks in the longest outflow streak since 2004. Investors have pulled 30 billion from US stocks over the last 10 weeks. That's according to Bank of America. This is the 10th straight week of withdrawals, longest in more than a decade. International positioning changes also indicates investors are becoming more defensive. So they're worried. They're wondering what's going to happen. Interest rates are rising. What's happening politically? The outflows occurred despite the S&P 500's nearly 1% gain this quarter and a record high on August 8th. It will not stop the flood. Let's look deeper into the article. Investors are fleeing. And what I wanted to note here was also the trend of emerging markets and European and Japanese stocks. They saw a $36 billion inflow over the last 10 weeks. So this right here is very important, particularly with European emerging markets. The money seems to be flowing in that direction, and perhaps the US bull has run its course. I don't know. I'm just going based on these pieces of information in this particular article, in this particular video. Let's look at this quickly. Weeks of consecutive US fund outflows, just to give you an idea of how high this really is. We haven't seen that during the financial crisis. We haven't seen that up until now, previously 2004. So it is very significant. I think this is important. You can see this. Look at what the Rothschilds are doing. Look at what all the big names are doing. Follow them by doing a search online for the 13F. Remember that you got that information here at the Money GPS. If you found this video informative, please give me a thumbs up. And last but not least, if you found the video informative, I know you will find my books, The Money GPS, and my new release, Global Economic Collapse, even more informative. So check these books out at Amazon. You can flip through them, and the links are in the description below. Take care.